Good morning, friends. With due respect to the departmental initiative for the development of e-content, in this particular session, we discuss on the residential status of an individual, impact and incidence of tax. For the program BCom, subject income tax, fifth semester, Vijayanagara Sri Krishnadevara University, Ballari. Before we move to solving the practical problems on the impact and incidence of tax, we have to revise the previous class. The students must have understood the theoretical knowledge and understanding of the exempted incomes, theoretical knowledge and understanding of incomes earned, accrued and received in India and abroad, parameters to decide the impact and incidence of tax based on his residential status. Before we move to the book example, I'll brief income earned in India, whether received in India or outside India, or income deemed to be earned in India, or income received in India, whether earned in India or abroad, all are taxable in the hands of resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. Income earned and received outside India from the business or profession not controlled from India is taxable for only resident, and it is not taxable for the not ordinary resident and non-resident. Similarly, income earned and received outside India from any other source is taxable in case of resident and not taxable in case of both not ordinary resident and non-resident. Income earned and received outside India from a business or profession but controlled from India is taxable for both resident and not ordinary resident, and it is not taxable in the hands of non-resident. With this brief revision of the previous class, we can move to a book example. From the following particulars of income of Mr. Nagesh for the year 1920, we have to compute the gross total income for the resident, non-resident as well as not ordinarily resident. Here the incomes given: income from agriculture in Ceylon 40,000, profit from a business in Sri Lanka controlled from India 75,000, income from business in India but received in Iran 50,000, income from house property in Japan not received in India 35,000, salary received in India for the service rendered in USA, interest on SB account with Corporation Bank in Hubli, profit from the business in Ceylon controlled from India, that is 75,000, but 1/3 profit received in India. Salary received in India for the service rendered in Bangladesh, received 20,000 as a share of income from HUF, of which he is a co-partner. Leave salary accrued in India but received in Japan. With this information, 10 incomes are given here. We have to compute his gross total income, assuming that he is a resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. Computation of gross total income of Mr. Nagesh for the assessment year 2021. So here you have to make the columns, particulars. One column you have to make a resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. The particulars column is quite big, and all this resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident, these columns you have to write the amount, so you have to keep with the same width. Now let us see one by one the incomes, whether it is taxable to the resident, not ordinary resident or non-resident. The first one is income from agriculture in Ceylon. Income from agriculture in India is totally exempted, but here it is a agricultural income from abroad, so it is taxable only to the resident Indian. So in the resident column you have to write the amount 40,000, not ordinarily resident, and non-resident you have to write just not applicable. It is not taxable. Let us move to the second income. Profit from business in Sri Lanka controlled. Profit from the business in Sri Lanka controlled from India is taxable to the resident and not ordinary resident. It is not taxable to the non-resident. Income from business in India but received in Iran. So here income from business in India, whether it is received in India or outside India, doesn't matter. It is taxable for for all assessee, whether they are resident, not ordinary resident, or non-resident. So the third income from business in India but received in Iran is taxable in all three cases. You have to write the amount 50,000 each. Income from house property in Japan not received in India. It's not an income from business, it's income from house property. It is taxable. Income from house property in Japan not received in India is taxable in the hands of resident, and it is not applicable to non-ordinarily resident and non-resident. Next income, salary received in India for the services rendered in USA. Salary received in India, the income received in India, it is taxable in all the assessee, that is resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident, that is 85,000. Interest on SB account with a corporation bank in Hubli is taxable. It's an Indian income received in India, taxable in ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. So profit from business in Ceylon controlled from India. 1/3 is received in India, so that 75,000, 1/3 whatever you have received in India is taxable for all the assessee, and remaining 2/3 is taxable only to the ordinarily resident and not ordinarily resident. So here the 75,000 is split into two parts. 25,000, 1/3, which is received in India, is taxed to the ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident, and remaining 50,000, 2/3 of 75,000, profit from the business in Ceylon but controlled from India, is taxed to the ordinary resident and not ordinarily resident. Salary received in India for the service rendered in Bangladesh. Salary received in India is taxable for all the assessee. You have to write the amount 25,000 for each. Received 20,000 as a share of income from HUF, of which he is a co-partner. So whatever the share is received from the HUF is exempted for all the assessee under section 10(2) of the Income Tax Act. Last income, leave salary accrued in India but received in Japan, is accrued, means it was earned in India but received in Japan, is taxable for all the assessee, that is 35,000 for each category of ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. After this you have to compute the gross total income for the ordinarily resident and not ordinarily resident and non-resident column separately. The book example 2. The following are the incomes of Mr. A for the previous year. With this information we have to compute his gross total income, assuming that he is a resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. The first one is profit from business in India and controlled from London. Agricultural income in Belgavi. Profit from the business in Singapore. The business is being controlled from India. Past untaxed foreign income brought into India, and income from house property in Sri Lanka. Solution. Profit from the, see here also we have to make the columns properly. The particulars little bit bigger. You have to write the description of income and the column resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. The first one is profit from the business in India controlled from London is taxable in all three cases: resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. Second one is agricultural income in Belgaum. It is exempted, so we have taken nil amount. Profit from the business in Singapore, but the business is being controlled from India, so it is taxable for resident and not ordinarily resident. Past untaxed foreign income brought into India is not at all taxed, it is exempted. Income from house property in Sri Lanka. Income from house property in Sri Lanka is taxed only to the resident, and after doing this, we have to compute the total of resident column, not ordinary resident column, and non-resident column, and that would be the total of that would be the gross total income of Mr. A for the assessment year 2020-21. References: you can go through the www.incometaxindia.government.in, or you can refer a book Dr. R.V. Diwan or Dr. G.B. Baligar or M.S. Navle and S.A. Kadri for income